Welcome to Glow Social Club, the space where powerhouse women come to reclaim their health, their clarity, and their leadership. I'm Jasmine Corona, functional nutritional practitioner and founder of Organically Glow and Glow Social Club. Around here, we don't do one-size-fits-all advice. We translate symptoms into strategy and build the kind of structure that actually sustains you. If you are ready to lead your health, your work, and your life with clarity, confidence, and conviction, you are in the right place. Let's begin. We know epigenetics plays such a huge role in the development of PCOS. So now let's break down what are some of the factors that are driving PCOS, okay? Like what's underneath the PCOS. So usually when I'm looking at PCOS, right, and where we have like a little bucket, we have PCOS on top, and then around it we have these different categories. So one of them is going to be insulin resistance. So insulin resistance specifically is a huge driver behind increased androgen production. Okay, so if we have high insulin levels, this triggers your androgen production, which is your male hormones. When we're dealing with this specifically, that can lead to irregular cycles. It can lead to painful periods. It can lead to acne. It can lead to excess facial hair, body hair. We even see weight gain or the inability to lose weight. Even if you're eating healthy, you're exercising daily, your body is not broken. Okay. We just have a signaling issue with our insulin. We also can see sugar cravings too. The next bucket that we have is hormonal imbalances, right? So high androgens like testosterone, which we just touched on, what can actually be driving the high androgens, but we also sometimes can have high luteinizing hormone, and this can interfere with egg development, right? So this is where the fertility struggles comes in. We also do tend to see either high estrogen levels and low progesterone levels too. So there can just be hormonal imbalances across the board. Again, we want to ask a deeper question. Why is there a hormonal imbalance? Why are there high androgens? What is driving this, right? So we go back to insulin resistance. Insulin resistance is known to trigger androgen production, excess androgen production. So that's super important to understand that hormones are not a root cause. You want to understand, okay, what are the deeper challenges that are happening? What's the deeper sources behind these buckets, right? So what I often see too is chronic inflammation in the body. So inflammation is often just linked to excess body fat. It can worsen insulin resistance. It can lead to more hormonal issues. It can drive chronic health conditions, right? So besides the PCOS, that you can actually have other issues pop up. So the painful periods, we can have the irregular periods, we can have fertility struggles. So the list can go on and on. Overall, PCOS, right, the root cause driving factors in what I see in my practice are, number one, we really need to look at nutrient deficiencies. Okay. That can impact how your body is communicating to each other, how the hormones are communicating to each other, how your insulin is communicating to your blood sugar, right? So nutrient deficiencies are a huge gap and most women I look at. We also see environmental toxins play a huge role in PCOS. Okay. Again, this is where those environmental factors come in. So environmental toxins, specifically mold, heavy metals, this can be hidden infections, chronic viral infections. And we really want to understand, okay, well, what is going on internally? Gut infections, right? These can all drive the insulin resistance, the chronic inflammation, and the hormonal imbalances. We also see poor diet. And it might not even be a poor diet, right? Maybe you're eating healthy, but it's what you're eating. Okay, what do I mean by that? So for most women who have insulin resistance, we are not eating enough protein. We are loading up on refined carbohydrates, which are ultra-processed carbohydrates, and we're not eating enough protein. That can drive the blood sugar imbalances, that can drive the insulin resistance, it can make it worse. So we really want to focus on the diet. We want to focus on, again, getting enough protein, enough fiber into your body. And we also want to really reduce any type of like added sugars. Okay, that's gonna be super important. Even artificial sugars too can mess with our hormones. So we want to be mindful about that. Another thing that I see amongst women who are dealing with PCOS or PCOS symptoms is stress. Okay, stress is such a huge contributor to every single disease out there, symptom out there. And especially for ambitious women, you guys are constantly on the go, go, go. And that's totally okay. But when we don't take time to manage our stress, to build resilience in our body, that's really what we want to do, right? We don't want to just reduce stress. I hate when someone tells you that, right? Like I hear that so often, like, oh, you're stressed out, just reduce stress. No, no, no. We want to build resilience against stress. Okay. How do we do that? Nervous system regulation, looking at your environment. How are your relationships? Are they toxic? Do you have toxic chemicals everywhere, right? So again, this is where the environmental toxins come in. We want to look at every area of our life and see what is adding to my stress bucket, right? Like I said, toxic relationships, the toxic food we're eating, our toxic environment. If you guys are wearing 10 different perfumes, or if you have so many different toxic candles in your house, we want to swap over. There are so many better options that are available nowadays. We have so many non-toxic products or even low-tox products available, right? So as things run out, start swapping over to lower toxic products, right? This isn't going to just help with your hormones and the inflammation you're experiencing and the symptoms of PCOS or just your symptoms in general, but it's going to help you with fertility. It's going to help with having a healthy child. Okay, that's so important because, again, remember those environmental factors can be started in the utero, right? That can be exposed to the baby, these toxic chemicals. Okay, so I really want to be mindful about that. So we're not only just protecting us, we're protecting our offspring. So overall, let's jump into how we can start supporting your body and the symptoms of PCOS, so that are pointing back to PCOS. So of course we know test and assess. Okay, we're not just guessing anymore. So the wealth audit is going to be the best place to start. This is your first step to actually understanding where your symptoms are coming from, what your symptoms are trying to communicate to you. How can you actually support your body? You need data. We need your data in order to understand how to support your body, how to support your symptoms, what your root causes are. So the wealth audit is going to be the best first step you ever take in your life because you're going to get clear answers on exactly what your body's communicating to you. And on top of that, we include a 45-day personalized strategy so you know exactly what to do to start your healing journey with ease. Okay. So we'll provide you with the food recommendations, lifestyle recommendations, and on top of that, strategic supplementation. That is key to addressing the root causes. So that is step one, test and assess. Step two, nutrition. Okay, precision nutrition. Food is one of the most powerful tools for PCOS. So we always want to pair protein and healthy fats with every meal to prevent insulin spikes. So like I said, our standard American diet is primarily focused on carbohydrates, refined carbohydrates. And on top of that, added sugar to everything we're eating. So we do want to be mindful. I always say, there is a balance between, okay, what you're eating in the household and then what you choose to eat outside your home, right? So in the household, with every meal, pair a protein and a healthy fat with a carb, okay? A balanced meal. Keep it simple. You also can go a step further and choose low glycemic carbs, such as like lentils, quinoa, berries, fruit, and eating plenty of fiber to support hormone metabolism. And on top of that, it does help with blood sugar regulation too, which again is going to help with the insulin resistance. So fiber-rich vegetables, fruit, that's going to be super helpful. And then we also want to limit refined sugar, white flour, and any ultra-processed foods, especially if you have elevated fasting insulin levels which most doctors do not run, but we do include that in our complete root cause panel because it's super important to see if you have early signs of insulin resistance or early signs of blood sugar dysregulation. You also want to look at your triglycerides. So if they're elevated, that can also point to an increased risk for developing diabetes or insulin resistance. So we definitely want to look at that. And then we also do check inflammatory markers because we know that can drive up insulin resistance. So that is first and foremost with food. With lifestyle, we really want to focus on strength training because this improves insulin sensitivity and it helps balance your hormones. So aim for at least 30 minutes most days. You can start off with 1 day a week and then work your way up to, 3 to 4 days a week. You also want to get high quality sleep, so about 7 to 9 hours nightly, just to help regulate your cortisol levels, help regulate your hormones. That's going to be very helpful for, again, building resilience in your body against stress. And then stress management, okay? This is more so what I like to call nervous system regulation. So meditation, yoga, deep breathing, this all helps reduce cortisol spikes, which worsens insulin resistance. And then, of course, what I always love to teach clients is cycle tracking. So monitoring when you're ovulating and just your cycles in general. Something that's super easy that you can do is get an Oura ring. Oura ring is really accurate, super helpful to really see where you're at in your cycle. And it's also a powerful tool to have when you're trying to conceive. So it's great for preventing pregnancy and it's great for trying to get pregnant, right? Cycle tracking. And it also gives us a lot of information on, okay, I feel this way. Why is that? Well, I'm in my luteal phase right now. So during this time, we should be taking, some rest days. We should be getting extra sleep. We should be exercising more, like restorative exercising, instead of just HIIT all the time. Super important. And then lastly, some strategic supplementation that I always recommend to most of my clients who have PCOS, who have been diagnosed with PCOS, or who have symptoms of PCOS.
You don't need more wellness advice. What you're looking for are answers. If you're tired of wondering why you feel off, my one-time functional lab testing packages are your fast track to clarity. This is root cause insight without the long-term commitment. You'll get functional labs, a detailed breakdown of what's really going on, and a short-term protocol designed to bring immediate relief. It's not a transformation, it's a turning point. A way to stop guessing, start strategizing, and take grounded action right now. If you're craving clarity without the overwhelm, head to organicallyglow.com and book your testing package today. Because your symptoms aren't random, they are readable, and I'll help you decode them.
So inositol is something that is super popular right now, and we want to do myo-inositol. This is going to help improve insulin sensitivity. It's going to help with ovulation. It helps with egg quality, and it is very well studied. This is something that I love to offer. So there are 2 supplements that I love to recommend. It's Core Formula's Drainage Essentials because that has inositol inside of there. And then we also have Core Formula's Daily Basics. Not only does it have inositol, but it also has your vitamins A, D, E, and K. These are usually vitamins that you're low in if you have PCOS. Most of us are actually low in vitamin D. So it's very helpful. It even has selenium, which helps with the thyroid. So super important to get inositol in your body just to help with the insulin sensitivity, ovulation, and of course the PCOS. Berberine is another one that I recommend to individuals who have insulin resistance or who have signs of insulin resistance. This helps support healthy blood sugar, helps your lipid panel look really great. It also really focuses on balancing out your blood sugar. So super important for taking during meals. Another one that I really love to add on is going to be omegas. Okay, omegas 3, 6, and 9s. So again, usually if we're eating ultra processed foods, we have way too much omega-6s compared to omega-3s. So then that's where we're just driving up inflammation. So to help with reducing inflammation and managing inflammation, what we do is we like to include omega-3s. I like to recommend Body Bio PC and Balance Oil. Okay. Balance Oil has the correct ratio of omega-6s to 3s, where it's going to help not only fight inflammation, but it's also going to help with your cell membranes. Okay. It's going to build up your cell membranes. If we have enough omega-3s and 6s and 9s, it's going to really balance this out. It's going to balance our hormones. It helps with everything. PC specifically is really great for, again, our cell membranes. It's going to help rebuild our cells. If our cells are healthy, our body is healthy. It also helps with how your insulin is communicating with your body, right? So it helps with the insulin sensitivity. So those are some of the supplements that I always recommend. Again, testing is going to be your best friend. Some other tips that I like to include for my clients who are dealing with like lots of acne, who are dealing with what else? High inflammation levels. They're dealing with the hair loss. Spearmint tea. Love spearmint tea, okay? It has anti-androgenic effects, so it's going to help decrease your androgen levels, which again, with PCOS, we have higher androgens in the body. So drinking about 1 to 2 cups a day is going to help reduce the androgens, which in turn is going to help support with PCOS, and it's going to also help support just the excess androgens, so, and all the symptoms, right? The acne, the excess hair growth, all the fun stuff that we get to deal with when we have PCOS. So those are some of my go-to recommendations. Of course, there are other specific things that we like to provide. When working one-on-one, when doing the wealth audit, you're going to have a very clear plan on how to actually start healing your body, how we're actually going to strategically implement some of these supplements while also addressing the root causes behind the PCOS. So I hope this episode was helpful. If you guys know someone who is experiencing PCOS, who has just learned that they were diagnosed with PCOS, or if you are listening to this and you're like, oh my gosh, like I need to really understand what my body's trying to communicate to you, then the wealth audit is your first step to clarity. So thank you again for watching this or for listening in. If you guys do have questions regarding any of this, I know I promised this would be a short episode, but hey, I decided to go all in with the PCOS conversation. You guys can always send me a message on Instagram at Organically Glow if you guys have questions or if you guys want to connect. And we also have, I'll leave a link in the description with the wealth audit. So again, thank you so much for listening, and I will see you guys next week.
You lead teams, households, businesses, but no one taught you how to lead your health. Most wellness advice wasn't built for women like you, high functioning, chronically fatigued, done with surface level fixes that don't actually work. That's why I created my one-on-one personalized wellness plans. We start with functional labs, we decode your symptoms, and we build a protocol that's rooted in data and designed for your reality. This isn't trendy wellness, this is root cause medicine that leads to restorative care. It's clarity, structure, and sustainable results for women who carry a lot and deserve to feel like themselves again. If you are ready for precision support and a practitioner who sees the full picture, head to organicallyglow.com, book a call, and let's rebuild your energy at the root so you can lead everything else from a place of clarity. If today's conversation shifted something inside of you, if it brought you clarity, relief, or a new way to see your health as a leadership tool, I'd love for you to share this with another powerhouse woman in your world. And remember, symptoms aren't the problem, they are the signal. When you start translating them, you stop surviving and you start leading with clarity. I'll see you next time inside Glow Social Hour.